In this section we will review how to connect to the SQL database, which we installed as part of the MySQL server setup. We will be referring to this database throughout the course and is a database I've frequently referred to over the years for SQL development. This sample database was initially created by MySQL in 2005 and hence is representative of a DVD rental store from the time, containing detailed information relating to movies such as titles, the actors, as well as customer and rental details. Although DVDs may be obsolete today, the model is still very valid in today's world of e-commerce and similar movie rental sites, and could be easily adopted to represent any number of online business models today. On a personal note, one of the many jobs I had while studying for my degree in computer science was to work an evening and weekend shift at a DVD rental store, and back then the store was running on Windows 95 with a very rudimentary Windows Access database. Nowadays we only need to click a button on our smart TV to access Netflix or Amazon Video. But thanks to the likes of DVD rental stores, they were able to keep me in pocket while studying for my degree at university. MySQL has continued to develop the SQL database over the years as a means to showcase their latest database software enhancements, making it a great resource to learn from, as well as a benchmarking tool for developers. Coming back over to the MySQL workbench, if we log in first as root or as a user that you've set up, we can see here there's a management or a number of management tools on the left hand side, and down on the bottom left here we have the schemas that were installed, including the SQL database. Even though we are in MySQL Workbench, we are not presently connected to any database. For this we must connect to the MySQL server and issue the command use database. To connect to the database, we will first go to database and connect to database. So in this instance we will be asked for details, but as we are connecting as root and we have the password already stored in the vault, we can just go ahead and hit OK. In addition, we can also set the default schema. If we were working with this regularly, we could put in SQL in this section here. For now, I'm just going to leave everything as is and connect into the database. If we look again on the left-hand side, even though we've connected to the MySQL server, we still haven't connected to any schema. To do this, we must issue the command use database, where database will be the name SQL in this instance. We can go ahead and then execute this command by either clicking on the icon here that looks like a bolt of lightning, or my personal preference is to use the keyboard shortcut, which will be Ctrl Shift and Return. Once we've executed this command under schemas that SQL has highlighted as bold, indicating that we are connected. From here we can also see a number of different tabs have appeared, where we can see a tab for tables, views, stored procedures, and functions. In this instance, MySQL has queried the system tables for SQL to identify what tables are here, and we can click on to any of these tables and further review what columns or indexes are in the table. Typically when I connect to a database, if I do not have such a visual tool to be able to show me what tables are in the database, I will use another command which is called show tables. Again, if I want to execute this and just this command, I will first highlight the command and I can click on the execute. Executing this command, we can now see the list of tables that we have brought up in the result grid is matching that which was in this schema profile on the right. These two functions are specific to MySQL, and if you are running on a different database platform such as Postgres, Teradata or Oracle, I would suggest to look up what are the corresponding commands or tables where you can find this information. For example, in Oracle you can query the table dba_tables to find a list of tables, or dba_columns if you want to query columns associated with a table. While in Teradata, there is a specific DBA database containing tables of table names and column names. Knowing how to identify what tables and columns are in a database is half the battle of finding relevant data you will need for your project. To summarize, when connecting to a database, we can use the command useDatabase, providing the database name we want to connect to. To show a list of tables in the database we are connected to, we can issue the command showTables, which will return a list of non-temporary tables in the database. For more details of the history and overall architecture of the Sakula database, you can visit the link provided. And at any time, if you want to know more details about a particular MySQL command, you can refer to the MySQL documentation in MySQL Workbench under the Help menu, or by pressing the F1 key, which will open the MySQL documentation. For example, if I wanted to look up the command useDatabase, we can see a list of search results has come up here. Creating and using a database. This will also become a very useful tool, and getting familiar with the MySQL documentation or any documentation for a database is a must-have for a developer. That's it for now, and I'll see you in the next section.